Hello and welcome back, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I got another interesting request. This actually came in around the same time as the Evading Zephyr request, but I wanted to do that one first because, by all rights, it came in technically first. This is the one that came in second, and they wanted to hear me just gush about stalwart defenders. In other words, this is going to be an Arcana Spotlight video. Which of course means no getting rid of the stalwart defenders, but why would you do that to your favorite chess knights? Like, that just seems like straight up heresy there. You don't want to do that. And I don't really have a particular place where I feel I should start, but to quick talk about the build, we're going to be taking Merchant's Cart because that's just going to continue to gain me strength based upon the number of relics I pick up. This and this are good ranged attacks that go very nicely with the stalwart defenders. And then the, teleporty pants because, hey, who doesn't like their teleporty pants? Alright, if you haven't already seen one of the good reasons to take the stalwart defenders, hopefully you've already seen it, but in case you weren't quite paying attention to what happened there, the stalwart defenders do two things. Not just two things, so take that with a grain of salt, but they do two things very well. First of all, they actually draw enemy attention away from you. Pardon me. Sorry guys, I'm just waking up, so. But not only do they draw enemy attention away from you, they can straight up block projectiles. Matter of fact, they block just about any incoming damage. So the stalwart defenders, if used properly, can practically invalidate particularly dangerous enemies. But I mean, on top of that, they also do, I believe the proper term for it is a shitload of damage. And once they're upgraded, they have that secondary stomp that, like when they're about to expire, it just makes the whole thing even better. It's so satisfying to use them. The one downside to them, though, is that, boy, are they difficult to use in tight spaces. Like, it takes... in tight spaces, you don't summon as many of them, and they don't always cover as much space as you would like. But, oh my goodness, it's still so useful. And unlike other summon arcana, which to be fair, the stalwart defenders don't count as summons, so take that for what it's worth. But they actually have a pretty reasonable cooldown. Like, if you get enough cooldown reductions, you can practically spam stalwart defenders. So I should go ahead and just share this little bit of information with you, which is, when I was first playing the game, I did not care for stalwart defenders. Pardon me, I'm still in the process of waking up, which hopefully with the able help of Dr. Fruit Punch I'll be able to do. Oh, look at that! and Furious Tempest. I'm gonna have to think about that one because my third level boss is Shu, and I would rather not take things that are going to be more or less ineffective against the last boss, or third boss. Here we go. Well, don't mind if I do. And actually, I do think that having the Glove of Midas will help in the long run. Alright. Now, the whole thing about enemies being distracted by the stalwart defenders does not hold true for bosses and sub-bosses, but they can still block attacks. That, in and of itself, is already worth something. As per usual, I will go right. See what I mean by they draw enemy attention? Like, that guy was aiming at me and then immediately said, hold on, these chess knights need to go. Like, they're just so offended by the proficiency with which these things move in an L-shaped pattern that they're like, no, we've got to do something about this. And that's perfect because that puts them right in line for that secondary stomp. And it's just so great. But of course, Lancers get that extra range, so of course they make me look like an idiot. But like I was saying, when I first started playing the game, I did not care for Stalwart Defenders. To me, it just looked like a weird, gimmicky, kind of slow, low-range, earth-based attack that I was never going to get any use out of. Like, why would I use one of my Arcana slots for that when I could use it for something like rock and roll or knockout move? Well, on a whim, not too long, when I say not too long, I mean like a few months ago, I decided, okay, what the heck, let's give it an honest try. See what comes of it. Even if I end up not liking it, hey, at least I know I gave it an honest to goodness effort. Oh, it also stuns enemies. By the way, yes, that move was stupid. Remember, when you have Chaotic Rift, walls are just a suggestion. There. My goodness, that was chaotic. And by chaotic, I mean, wow, they took a while to kill. But it was upon that... It was upon that replay that I realized, wait a minute, the enemies aren't targeting me when they're out. Not only that, but these guys actually do a lot of damage, and why was I bad-mouthing this Arcana before? I'm not really dependent on critical hit chance right now, so I kind of feel like it's okay for me to take this. Hold on. I suppose, if nothing else, that will form a basis for a pretty decent defense. Not that I don't already have a decent defense because of Chaotic Rift. Well, that was silly of me. The, of course, major downside to the stalwart defenders is that they don't have a ton of range. But, you know, essentially my fault for trying to jam a square peg into a round hole. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I don't really see the need to go anywhere else. Oh, I'm dumb. Oh, thank you, Tipsy Gladius. Hey, already I feel somewhat justified in taking that. Prevent slow status. Actually, that could be useful considering I have Shu coming up at the end. Oh yeah, how's that for a warm-up? Ow. Okay, that was sudden. Wow, I suck. Okay, I wasn't as properly lined up as I thought. Nope, that was not a fault with the game. I just made a stupid mistake. What are you? Flame Breath. Woo! I'm actually rather okay with that. Though there are other Fire Arcana I would rather have, I'm not going to turn down something that's going to make the Shu fight easier. No, Dr. Fruit Punch. Alright, so hopefully as this run is going along, you can see why I like the Stalwart Defenders so much. It didn't start off that way, but yeah, as I was starting to say multiple times now, after that like last attempt to give them a try and see what I thought, I started realizing what exactly they were doing for my run, and then I said, oh hey, this is better than I gave it credit. Like, way better. Oh, hello, Bouncing Surge upgrade, thank you. And I'm very much okay with the idea of twin turbines, but let's wait and see how much money I can amass. Because there's also still the idea of gathering relics from Anders. That, of course, is important. Pardon me. Stomp. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure I want any of that. I've already lowered my critical hit chance once. Lowering it again, it's like, yeah, okay, my critical hits might do more damage, but who gives a shit? It's like, if you're only getting a critical hit once every time Halley's Comet crosses the galaxy, then, yeah, the extra critical hit damage isn't looking so hot now, is it? And here we go. Now, I know what I said about not taking the hat last time, but this time around I'm not thinking unicorn disguise. I mean, how can you not? I'm a horse-headed man summoning horse-headed chess pieces to do my horse-headed bidding in a horse-headed world. I mean, it doesn't get much more perfect than that, wouldn't you agree? God damn it, go away! Alright, let's review. I think I'm gonna grab that. Just a little bit of extra focus on lightning will make this stage go by a lot easier. Aren't you a jerk? Alright, so if I were to buy anything here, probably be the Battery of Tyrannus, actually, but I also like the idea of the Thesis on Defense and Jade's Jewel Tiara, even though it's still broken. Here we go. Aha! Trapped in a corner with another horse-headed minion of mine. Your fiery paintbrush did some work there. That was stupid of me. Oh hey, what can you offer me, good sir? I missed. I don't want that. So once again, a problem that I've been having with this game for a while is rearing its ugly head. for some reason, when I take Bouncing Blaze, Iris refuses to help me upgrade it. Like, just straight-ass refuses. I know this is not a problem that the rest of you have, so I'm wondering if there's something to it, or if I'm doing something wrong. This particular run isn't necessarily about Bouncing Blaze. I'm bringing it up because, hey, the situation presented itself, and what the hell, I thought I'd ask because maybe someone discovered something that will help shed some light as to why I can never get that upgraded. And I know I sound a little paranoid in even asking, but apparently, yeah, it is just me. Because everyone else says that they get it upgraded, like, right away. Alright, so... Oh, I don't have enough money. Oops. Alright, so another thing that's really nice about the Stalwart Defenders is that they appear quicker than you think. Basically, you press the Y button, or yeah, what it is in my case, and within a few frames they've popped out and they've done some damage for you. So yeah, they're really good to use in close range. Hello, fairy. What are you doing trapped in a treasure box? Never mind, I probably don't want to know the answer to that question. Owie. Alright, not bad at all. And now I'll go buy the Thesis on Defense. Reason being, I've got a few good things here for my offense. Let's just focus a little bit on defense. And at this point, we should be more or less okay, so I'm hoping to find some just some really baller, like, offensive relics. Okay, that's what I meant to do. There we go. Very good fight. No, no thanks, I don't want that. And I know I'm not talking about the Stalwart Defenders all that much, but in this case, I think just watching them in action should be speaking for itself. Alright, and since we are now in the wind area, let me grab that. And even in situations where it seems like they would be the wrong answer, no, I'm sorry, the stalwart defenders are still the right answer. See, the real enemy here was not necessarily placement, but cooldowns. See, if I could have had my horse-headed minions going a little bit more uptime there, that wouldn't have been just a crazy, run from the danger thing. Which, to be fair, sometimes that's what you have to do to avoid taking an assload of damage. So, take it with a grain of salt. I know that looked chaotic and messy, but hey, what can I say? Sometimes your fights are just going to be a little chaotic and messy. And there, level 3-1, she finally decides to let me have an upgrade to the stalwart defenders. Like, wow, like the entire run, Iris? Was that really necessary? There we go. And now I can finally upgrade that. Christ, why do you keep that upgrade from me for so long? Uh-oh. There. Well, once again, we've got the Lotus Frost Stone. And Tozy's Pocket Watch, which, in one sense, yeah, I could probably stand to absorb the decrease to signature charge. On the other hand, I like my signature charge. Like, there's a reason why I chose one of the strongest signatures in the game to represent this. Oh, really? You jerk. In case you're wondering why I'm suddenly taking so much damage, first of all, I remind you, it's the 3rd level. Enemies move faster and are typically more aggressive. Secondly, I'm still tired. I did not sleep well thanks to the heat. And thirdly, and probably the point that's a bit more important, the stalwart defenders will draw enemy attention, but if you are closer to the enemy than the stalwart defender is, then they will still target you. So it's not a be-all end-all solution to your aggro problems. Now, I'd still say that even with that in mind, Stalwart Defenders is still a very good Arcana. Like, it's what you would expect out of a kind of merging of the ideas of offense and defense in the Earth Arcana sphere. And it doesn't even need to be that specific, it's just good. This is just when you think Earth Arcana, you do tend to think this, strong, stalwart barrier sort of thing. And that's exactly what you get out of the Stalwart Defenders. It's great. Plus, horse-headed knights. Who doesn't love that? And it's obviously chess themed, so just, that's... Where else do you see horse-headed knights, honestly? This is the point where I get surprised by the comments section. It's like, here's all the places where I found horse-headed knights. I'm honestly shocked at your not only persistence, but your ability to know where horse-headed knights appear. And I can list one right now, Secret of Mana. There's actually an enemy called the Chess Knight. So, I mean, yeah, it's basically the same thing, but... Oh, come on, die already. I'll have to think about this one. This is one of those robes where I'm not necessarily thinking I need to have the upgrade in order to do well. But it is an upgrade that is useful because it's going to increase your signature damage. Oh, you thought you could get past the Stalwart Defender. Oh, sir. Have you learned nothing from this episode? Yeah, this is about what I expect from this room. This is one of those rooms where that just drains you of your health and resources. Like, I'm not surprised that I took a beating in that room. Like, especially if your build relies on any sort of close range attack, that room in particular will smash you. But here's the thing, you have to rely on close range attacks there because attacking at range doesn't necessarily do you a lot of good. And you don't really have the room to attack at range in a room like that. You just have to run around and kite your enemies and hopefully not take too much damage in the process. But it's also really easy to get caught in a corner. So take that with a grain of salt. There, I like having a little bit of extra insurance. But one thing I should do... There we go. That's better. Really? Just kind of out of nowhere here, it's Surefire Rocket. I mean, the game knows me pretty well. And yeah, 19% chance to have my cooldowns reduced in half is nice. You know what's even nicer? Super reliable signatures. Excuse me, what the hell? God, I hate rogues. That's 2 rooms that punish you for fighting at close range. Or rather, force you to fight at close range and then attempt to use rogues to rupture your asshole. Alright, well that's two rogue-based rooms that really create problems. And yeah, rogues generally are an issue on any run because, like, because as I've mentioned before, their frame run backstab critical hit and 2, even though the elemental ones don't necessarily get that same bonus, they do get the very interesting trait of having magical spells that tend to home in on you. So, yeah. Basically clocks in on a scale of 1 to 10, it clocks in at a fuck this room rating. Like, there's reasons to hate just about any enemy in the game, but rogues to me deserve that special bullshit. In case you haven't guessed, I am not a fan of rogues, especially not this rogue. Fortunately, this time I was in much more control. As much as I like Thundering Chain, I think... Actually, for this fight... No, I'm gonna stick with what I have. I think that'll work out. There we go. Nice and aggressive. See, this is why you don't mess with a horse-headed man, sir. Oh, thank you, my horse-headed minions. You've done me so proud today. Like, even those times where I did just kind of get my ass stomped, I don't blame them for it. I blame those rooms that are structured in such a way that you're forced to take an assload of damage. Like, no one wants to fail their horse-headed master and watch him get his asshole split. But hey, sometimes it just happens because rogues in this game are the worst. And you may disagree with me on that, but I'd like to also present this evidence. You're wrong. So, there you go. Also, by the way, notice that Atlas is the only one who has his robe open to show off those amazingly chiseled pecs. Yeah. There's one thing I will give Atlas, is that man is ripped. So, I know I strayed quite a bit off course talking about stalwart defenders, but hopefully the defenders just made the point themselves. They are both offense and defense in a crazy, crazy world. They both attack and protect. I severely underestimated the stalwart defenders when I first started playing this game, and looking back on it and knowing what I know now, I would be using the stalwart defenders so much more back in the day if I knew just what they did. Like, they draw enemy attention, they do boatloads of damage, they're a wall, they are whatever you need them to be, and they are fan-freaking-tastic. Oh yeah, and they do damage almost as soon as you press the button, so even in close range, they're getting work done. Like, I just have nothing bad to say about Stalwart Defenders. It's a great arcana, and if you haven't checked it out for yourself, this would be a good time. Preferably with either the Equester Cap or the Unicorn Disguise, so that your horse-headed minions can serve their horse-headed master and turn this world into a horse-headed nightmare. Yeah! So, that's it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you learned a few things about Stalwart Defenders and that you had fun doing it. So, like, comment, and subscribe. Those are the things that really help a YouTuber build their base. Links to my social media will be in the description below. Again, I appreciate you guys for coming and spending some of your free time with me. It really means a lot. And hey, I'll catch you guys in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you